Up the top again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that way you still run around in the circle then.
Yeah, well, it's an either or really. Okay, so we'll be off this way. Find food everywhere, all through the Australian bush, and I mean it is just so abundant, but you just got to know what to look for and what is edible. Yeah. Because this is National Parks and Wildlife land, I can't prove what I'm about to say here, but I actually believe we're standing in probably a ceremonial fire pit because of one, the size of it, and two, where we are down here, which I'll explain to you a bit more when we get up the top. But the size of it, the shape of it, due to its aspect and its protection of it, I'd say this is probably a good chance to be a ceremonial site where mobs get together to have some sort of mass meeting for some reason. And quite more than likely be out here going on a mass hunt together. But as we get up the top, I'll be able to explain that to you. Now this is the management here. Now, if anybody's going to handle it, please be very careful. We also have sharp spines here. As you can see, these spines here, they are sharp. But when these harden to go white, what the people that do is they gather them in a group and sit there between two rocks and grind them down. Turn it into a flour, make cakes and breads and things. And that was how they'd make our flour for it. As we were talking down there before, spider in my basket. Sorry about that. Probably used as a ceremonial, site this. And so the mob would get together, and then you'd probably find, 4 or 5 blokes in the Bermagui, or actually Bermagui, which would translate now to you fellas as canoe. So therefore, if you ever go down to the coast, you're going down to a town called Canoe, have fun, good fishing spot. They get out there with the net and basically drag it out, more or less like where the fishing net is, where the swimming net is there now. Sit there on the tide, go back, light the fire, sit there, have a yarn. Talk about, where they've been mixing with, everything. The tide starts going down, get all the mob together, and pull the net back in. I'll sit down there and probably have the next feed for the next week or so. Sit there and yarn on. But what they do then, is just at the moment you can't see it, the tide, is when they go and clean the fish. Down here, just underneath this is what they call a midden. And so they come along and clean all the fish, the shellfish and everything, just in the one certain spot. And as the tide's going out like it is now, it's creating an undercurrent down through here. Now I don't know if anybody knows this part of Shark Bay on Nelson Park, but it's listed as Shark Bay. And as the tide goes out, it actually just drops straight off and drops into basically the bottom of the floor here. So it creates an undertow and a backflow. So just down through here, it just keeps stirring the current up. So the people used to go and clean all the fish there to go and wash it all back in, so to create an ecosystem and a sustainable system that all the other fish would come back and be able to feed on all the offcuts that they throw them back out for them. So again, every time they come back through here, the food was always here for them. So again, it comes down to this new preachable thing that everybody's coming out with, sustainability. Well, people were doing this, 300-400 years ago before it even become trendy. So, but as you can see, the way the tide's drawing out now, And if you look carefully, you'll see a little stir back in that corner down here. And that's the current working. And it's stirring it back. So as this current decides going out, this is probably one of the worst places you could swim in Sydney because of the undertake out here. The height of colonisation. Yeah, we use the height of colonisation. These things used to grow really big and tall, really straight. And if you look around the rocks, you'll see some of these big logs that some of the buildings have been built just after the colony was settled. You'll find they were all built out of these, and they just about devastated a lot of these trees and nearly become extinct, except for a few pockets down southern Sydney. And then they were able to actually repropagate them back up, and they're starting to reappear. But as you can see, the reason they use it, they grew really dead straight, and they are a real super hard wood. So, and you can see some of the buildings in and around the rocks and whatnot. That wood's been there over 200 years and it's still as hard as. So, yeah, at least they use the good stuff to build with, but just a bit too much. It's an ironwood. And then they went straight through a sacred site, probably either through ignorance or, whatever. I'm not going to say they did it deliberately to destroy it, but it was more than likely ignorance, and they just cut through a sacred site and actually destroyed something that was actually still really workable, even for people now today. You could have still been able to work that. But the way the stormwater there now, with all the wash off, you wouldn't be able to work it. It's just washing garbage in. It's when you find a hairy one. It's really easy to light. Natural fire lighter, like different fire starters that you go and start barbecue with. Find a hairy one that's nice and dry, just a quick flash underneath that and then put that under your kindling. It'll glow better than a jiffy fire lighter and it won't give off that petroleum smell into your food. This is a dry one, so I don't think it's going to burn too well. Yeah, they're still wet from the other day. Saves that, that's saved. If I can find it. Not a very good one, but I know he's here. See this little purple flower here? And this little green berry that's appearing on the top? If you look in your grasses, it'll appear under your dianella. When you see these come up, you've got these berries turn purple. Very, very nice. Your kids will sit there and just raid the whole patch. Right? You've got to beat kids to them, really. A girlfriend of mine, I gave to her for Christmas last year. A bottle of vodka with about a dozen of them. Just put in it, you just squash. Well, it turned the bottle of vodka so purple it went blue. When I gave it to her, she looked at it and gone, she loved it. Right, so yeah, but it makes a very sweet cordial. Grind up a bit of water, lemonade, same thing. In your vodka, great, fill it up. Beautiful, versatile berry. Make jams out of it. It looks out. They all come out with stained fingers and tongue. The mulberry stains you get? Well, it's not as purple like that, it's a blue. But they are very nice if you ever see them around. 18 months, 2 years ago, when I first started working for Wallara Council doing these walks, this area here was worse than all of this in the Terrell Bush. Sorry, man. It was chockers overtaken with weeds. And the Wallara Council have got their bush regeneration volunteers to come through here and pick through it slowly and slowly and slowly, a bit over time, and start to replant it. And within the last 2 years, this is what's been able to be rebuilt. And it's actually starting to really take off and become back to what it should be, upper or lower heat. But there's a few plants missing here and there. But that's something I'll have a chat to council about. But it's coming along really well. But if anybody's ever interested in bush regeneration, please feel free to get hold of Wallara Council, because the more people helping out with regen, you get it back looking like this, and it saves it looking a mess like this. And as you'll see a bit further up, how much of a mess it has become. They thought they could control nature. Well, hello, no, it doesn't work. Yeah! You'll never get rid of that now. This was just because they thought, oh, we have a beautiful view, we'll cut down all these trees so we can see association, but it must look British in an Australian climate. It's never going to work, is it? You know, the ground here, if you look and have a dig, you'll see how dry and how much rain we've had just recently, right? But if you dig underneath, it's dry there, isn't it? You know, a few mil under. Dry ad. Won't hold the water. It's just running straight through, so they're trying to pump out these plants that are just sucking water that's not going to hold it in the soil. So again, they're fighting a losing battle. But we know better. You know, what was it that was once said, you know, white is right? Okay, no worries. It's coming out of the bottom. You strip that down, keep all the green stuff, and then as you're going to get ready to cook, you just go and lob all that into the coals. Put your grill back on, put your meat on, put your lid on. There you go, your food will be smoked, and it's nowhere near as heavy as a hickory smoke. And when you're eating it, you're there going, feels like I'm eating an Australian bushfire, because that's the taste you get in the back of your nose. The smell of the Australian bush burning, but it's gone through the food very lightly. It's really nice. So if you ever get a chance to try it, does anybody know about cold smoking of foods? Right, same way, you know, like you get your Weber barbecue, you go and smoke your cheese. So instead of using full coals, you'll only use a small tray like that and a big tray of ice. Then you block the cheese over top, torch your wood, put your lid on it, and because the cool air will circulate that smoke for you, it'll smoke your cheese without turning it into a puddle of mush. Still have not been able to identify this one yet. Not one of mine. I think it's one of the imports. I'll tell you what, it don't look real advertising. It's an interesting one. If you ever have one of these in your yard, be very careful of it. The spines on them are very sharp, and they also contain a slight toxin in them. So when you're cutting them, they'll jab you, and it'll be irritating for hours upon hours. Right, so if you have a feeding farm in your yard, watch your children around it. Dangerous thing. Your bottles? Oh, hold on. We're not doing nothing wrong. But no, all the way up through here you've got little bits and pieces. The Acmina Smithy, the branch that I was showing you down there, it's actually right on the very corner up there this morning when we were parking the car. I stopped and looked and went, hey, hold on, I know you. And it's just starting to go to flower now, so it won't be long. About being a better than a heat beat.
Oh, wow.
Now you see the way it glows and glows and glows and nice and glow, and that'll just keep glowing, right? And then after you've got your small sticks and underneath that, just keep burning and burning. Now you know why the Australian bush is so volatile. When it goes off, it goes off. The stem you can actually chew on as well in hard times. Right, I do mean in real hard times to get some moisture, right? Because the chewing of the stem will actually help activate your salivary glands. But I tell you what, it'd want to be pretty hard times, you know, for you to want to. Yeah, not the best taste either. I've actually done it. I did it to, you know, like to see what it was like. Thick bark before you get the cambium layer. Yep, that's the stuff that you want. Real big sheets of it. And it's really thick. And what the people used to do is take out
William.
Come on. pull out big sheets like this. And open it up. Lay it out, lay your food in it like that.
Let's do it.
Roll it back up. Tie it up. In the fire. There's your natural alfoil. And myrtle pancakes with some native jams. Oh, and a macadamia nut butter. I also have here a lemon myrtle iced tea. Now please feel free to have a taste of the jams and the pikelets. And if you'd like to purchase any of the jams, speak to me, and I have some for sale. I also have for sale some of the lemon myrtle, which has been flavoured with the pancakes and the iced tea. If your children can get your parents to serve you, that would be very much appreciated.
Do you want the front one of this? Yes. Okay, I give it to you. Which gem do you want to try?
Please feel free to dig in first.
This side? Okay. This for wild mom gem. This one?
Here's my phone.
Yeah. Which one?
Hey, phone didn't ring, did it?
No.
Oh, cool.
I never check text messages for whatever.
You know, nobody sent me text messages.